Welcome back. Welcome back to Synology Online. Today we're going to talk about something. I had a customer actually contact me last night over this apparent Claude Mythos AI hackability, cyber security thing. So I did some investigating into it to find out about it. The article came from Sweden, and I read through it. I'll include the link to it, but so in reading through some of this, apparently in the next 6 days, there's supposed to be some. I didn't see 6 days, but there's supposed to be some global attack, something to do with authenticating hacks, where you have two-step authentication that is going to be easily hackable. I didn't see much about that. Um, and there's even a lot of posts online about this Mythos AI model that is so scary. The federal government has convened in meetings over it recently. I think it was early April that this started, but I didn't even find anything about the government meeting on it. So I'm not quite sure if it's a rumor. Uh, Apparently, everyone keeps talking about Claude Mythos. I don't even know who he is. I haven't found any information really about this guy. I don't know if it's somebody spreading a rumor online, but there are vulnerabilities in everything we own. So that's a given. Obviously the government's pushing these. If you have older routers that can't be updated, that's a problem. But what about Synology? What does Synology do when it comes to how you use your NAS and your data? Surprisingly, you are being looked at. In fact, I did an article here in the Synology service a while ago, and it's an old topic about WEDJAT. Uh, WEDJAT, well, first off, if anyone never heard of WEDJAT as an ancient history, the image of WEDJAT will definitely ring a bell to you. That's WEDJAT. WEDJAT is that all-seeing Egyptian eye and a mythical being in Egyptian history. But the thing is that if you have updates turned on, WEDJAT is active. Okay. What this does is you can disable it, not just by turning off updates, but there's also some commands you can do through terminal. Um, and first off, speaking about this hackability, if you have SSH turned on, I will deplore you and tell you turn it off as soon as possible. Don't leave SSH on. I don't care how old your model is or how new it is. It just opens the door. If somebody has access to the Synology date password sheet, they can log in as root. I can do the same thing. I can remotely log into any NAS if SSH is available. So, because I have the date sheet, and not too many people know what that date sheet is and how the hex works for the date timestamp and how to log into your NAS. So turn that off. That's the main thing. So back on the topic of WEDJAT, or Synowedjat is what it's actually called. It's a command that runs in Linux. It runs on your NAS, especially if updates are turned on. Now, the article I did here in Reddit actually talks about what's collected. Uh, it sends information about app use. If you're trying to crack into the system, it can issue punish commands to your NAS. Protection. There is actually protection default scripts. And in fact, if you look below, the command that runs is Synowedjat exe. It's normally used for debugging, but it also can be used to monitor. Rumor is Synology does monitor certain things. We don't know what the limitation is of that. That's probably why there's so much controversy about having NASA's Taiwan involvement, China involvement, and these types of things, because we don't know what's out there and what's being run. But it sends host info. That's another thing. It punishes. It can reset your login GUI with a piracy screen if you're doing something that's bizarre. Now, there is ways around it to turn it off permanently and stop the process from initiating. But the thing is, what do you have to be concerned about? If there was ever a serious issue about that and WEDJAT that runs on your Synology NAS, I think somebody would have came out already by now and says, okay, yes, there is something seriously wrong with it. And I don't think really we have anything to worry about it because people, a lot of engineers out there who own NASAs like these in the United States, they can monitor everything that goes out of the NAS. And there's been no reports that anything has been really seriously affected or can be affected. So a lot of this came out as speculation. A lot of it came out as rumors. I personally, when I see the code, I do see Synowedjat active, but we're not really sure what it does. I mean, it's there, it runs. There's no comment from Synology over it, but obviously, if something was to have a concern, this information would have came out. So I would say, from what I've seen, rest assured, everything is pretty good. Some people rumored they can see your data, they can copy your data, but if somebody was to do that, engineers would have spotted this already. They can track all the data that's coming out of the NAS and say, hey, there's a vulnerability in this. The government needs to be. It's not happening. So, but it's something to be aware of. And I think actually even the Mythos AI model is something to consider. So like I said, I did it. It's supposed to affect a lot of the two-factor authentication. And apparently, there's a company, big company in Sweden that got hacked, and 80% of the consumer base was affected. Like I said, somebody wrote the federal government in the United States has convened over the mythos. I couldn't find a single government meeting. So what you get is rumors. What actually happens, you don't know. Sometimes that's why the worst thing is 0 day problems. You don't want 0 day to affect you because that's the bug or the hack that nobody has time to fix. It's just that's why it's 0 day. There's no time to fix it. You get hacked, that's your 0 day. If next week someone else gets hacked, that's their 0 day. So 0 day just means there's no time to fix it. It's already been done. So, and sure, there's hackers out there that you have pretty good idea what vulnerabilities are, mainly in browsers and like PDF files or JPEGs and stuff like that. But I just thought I'd let you know that I haven't found anything viable yet as to for anyone to worry about in the NAS world on this side. Apparently, it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be 7 days to happen, and that was yesterday. So we had 6 days. So I have no idea. I don't see anything going on. I haven't seen any alerts, so I wouldn't be concerned about it, honestly. So I thought I'd bring it up as a topic. In between video shootings, I've done quite a few videos. I have to keep posting, so just thought I'd make a mention of it. So relax, okay?